What's going on, everyone? Joe here, back with a weekly Elden Ring video as promised. Well, in this video we're going to discuss the density of what I guess most of the game is going to be like. So this is essentially the first camp that's in the closed network test. We're going to skip through a lot of this stuff. You don't need to see all this nonsense. I'm just going to rinse these guys real quick. But after I clean out this camp, we're going to go through every individual item that can be found within the camp. And you'd be surprised at the amount of stuff that's in here. I remember when I was playing, I found something, and I believe my home brother, Jonathan Gallagher, a.k.a. Sweet Johnny Cage, was like, I didn't see that. So just the way the camp is laid out, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on inside of it. But after, again, once we rinse all these bums, I do go around and I pick up every individual item that can be found just within this camp. And honestly, there's some pretty cool stuff here, which you're going to see in about 30 more seconds. Now, I do want to say a quick disclaimer. Again, this is from the closed network, so all this stuff is subject to change. That doesn't mean the same items are going to be in the same place. As a matter of fact, I do believe that the item drops are different in the retail version. But now that that's out of the way and all these bum-ass enemies are out of the way, let's start checking out the loot. One more time, this is just this individual first seemingly tiny small campsite. So I believe I start right here just to get a good gauge of the area. So the first thing we have here is the map. Now these map fragments are apparently scattered all throughout the lands between, and here we go. So that is just where we're at, that little ruin right there in the middle. This all takes place right here. The next thing we're going to grab is the recipe for some crafting materials, or a crafting recipe, I guess it is. Now, this is in back of this caravan. These caravans are going to be spotted throughout the lands between. They're usually carried by those big giant things. We've seen them in the trailer. The cool thing about the patrolling caravans is that you cannot loot the chest until all the enemies, including the giants, are killed. The next item is a tier, I think, so you can actually create sort of your own flask in this game. And the flash you create can have different effects. It can give you some MP, some magic, whatever, some health, some stamina. But it's based on mixing those tiers right there. So that's another item we get. Now, I believe there's two more. Well, actually, it's more than two, but two more things, two more areas where you can pick up items. This seems to be a little hidden. This in here is going to be an Ash of War. Look at this. Little tiny random stairwell down here. I think the first time I played this, I definitely missed this drop. And the coolest thing about this is, honestly, the game is rewarding the player for taking their time and doing a little bit of exploration. Now, with that said, I've seen or heard a lot of people worry about if the world's going to be empty, what's going on in the world, it looks kind of dead. But if we can just look again at this particular camp and how much is going on within it that people don't necessarily realize because they didn't play the game, or they're just watching somebody run around the world. If the game carries this feel from start to finish, there is nothing to worry about. But anyway, back on track. That is the last group of things, items, whatever you can pick up in this camp. That was an entire armor set. And that's just here. Just in that little tiny camp, there was a map fragment. There was an armor set. There was an Ash of War. There was the tier. And lastly, the cookbook recipe thing that lets you craft other items. And that's it. That's pretty much the end of this video for me. All I'm going to say is that if we continue on this path, we're going to have quite a game ahead of us. That's it. Video 2 is in the books. I'll have video 3 up in the next couple days. Thank you very much, guys. I'm out.